So are you able to see my screen, right? So is my screen is visible?
Yes, Mani, we are able to see a screen.
Okay, fine. I'll start a session. Okay. Before that, let me have an introduction of myself. So coming to myself, I'm Manideep from Hyderabad. So I'm into data engineering. So overall, I have around 9 years of experience in this. So majorly, I have knowledge on this Python, Hadoop, and Unix shell scripting. Apart from that, I have the knowledge on this Informatica stream sets and other tools as well. So I'm part of a testing and development team. So as per the session, today I'll start with the control M. So uh, like uh, okay, like most probably by today and tomorrow, I'll try to cover up this control M session. Just a second. So okay. So mostly like today I'll give you the theoretical information on control M, and I'll show you how we can do the practical one on this control M by tomorrow. Okay. Current shall I- Okay. Fine. Uh, so basically, if I tell you the control M, so control M is one of the tool which is used for the scheduling purpose. So if I tell you in normally, uh, uh, so it is kind of a alarm system which triggers the jobs in the just a second. Yeah. So okay. So do you have anyone have knowledge on this transformation to like Informatica or Talent or Omniscia or any other cloud tool?
Brother, your voice is not clear.
Okay. Is it clear now? Or it's still the same?
Yeah, it's clear now.
Okay, okay.
Much better.
Yeah. Okay. I'll start a session. Does anyone have the knowledge on this part, ETL tool?
No, I think so.
Okay. So basically, uh, Okay. So we have in tool example say okay. So normally this ControlM will be helpful like in the triggering the jobs in the ETL one. So let's before jumping into the ControlM, we'll talk about the ETL part. Okay. Let's take uh, normally ETL stands for the extraction, transformation, and loading. So what exactly it is means uh, extraction of multiple sources we'll be extracting the data from multiple sources and we're transforming that into transforming the data according to the business requirement. Or we can say business needs, and we'll be loading into the target system. So, okay. We open those. I'll show you one PPT so that will be understanding for you. Yeah. So normally ETL stands for like extracting the data from multiple sources and transforming the data according to the business need, and we'll load the data. So this is a process where the companies will follow to load the data uh, from the sources. Maybe it's from the multiple sources and loading the data into the target, which may be a data warehouse, and uh, like they will use this data for the dashboards and report purpose. So I'm trying to give the I'm trying to give the background because so there is one important role this ControlM, or we have a few more scheduling tools. Those will be useful to automate these workloads. So let's take so why exactly they do means so normally let's take we have one business. Let's take we have some retail business. So they are storing some data in the database, or it might be they are storing the data in the Excel or in the maybe in different formats. Let's take in the .txt. So these are comes under the sources. So like they will store some information in this database or Excel in .txt. So this is for the running the business purpose. So they will take this data And normally what they will do, so to grow the business, they need to understand the customer the pattern history, like what is their purchases. According to that only, we can do the analysis and all. So like they need to understand the customer. So that's why what they will do exactly, they will move this data to a one another location, not entire data, only part of the data, which we'll call them as a target. It's in the data warehouse. So in between, we'll do some transformations. Just like for example, let's take uh, okay, in database, we are storing some date format. Let's take the date format uh, in YYMM and DD. And here we are storing the data in DDMM YYY. And here we are storing the data in MMDD YYY. So if you observe here, we are storing the information in different formats. So what they will do exactly, the business will come and they will ask to uh, get into a single format. They will give the requirement DDMM YYY. So they will convert entire these different formats. What are the data in here in this singular format? I will store this information over here. So if I tell you in normal way, so they will use this information for the running of the business, uh, and this is for the growing of the business. So for that, uh, this business analyst or the data scientist, the team will be there. So they will be analyzing entire this thing. So for that, what they will do, from different systems or from the servers or flat files or unstructured data or from the multiple sources, they will get this data into different stages and finally load into a data warehouse, and that can be sent to different teams for the dashboard purpose. Uh, so let's take uh, we are from the technical team. We can understand the numbers, or we can say uh, if we even though we can see the data in the databases, we can understand it. But to the business team, they can only understand the picture information or uh, in the in the reports, like they will try to generate reports and all. So that can be helpful from them to taking the decision. So uh, like to take the decision, for example, let's take uh, I have a product, maybe bread and butter. So like uh, we have maybe a 20% profit every month on the bread and butter. So I want to increase it. So what can I do? So whether I can uh, apply the discounts on that, or what exactly I can do. So they will discuss and they will do it. So this entire process will be, we'll call them as a ETL, and from the here we'll call it as a BI, so business intelligence. So 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 we have this ControlM. Uh, so ControlM is nothing but like for example, uh, let's take just like I told, whatever it is. So this is entirely like it runs as a jobs, like generally for this one, uh, the water the flow we are doing. So transformations will happen in one transformation tool. So that is the uh, the transformation tool is either Informatica or Talent or Ab initio. So, or we have many, even we have the cloud and all. So these are the tools where uh, the transformation will happen. So in this, what we do exactly means to get the data from different places and for the different flows. For example, we have flow 1 and we have flow 2 or we have flow 3. So for these flows, what exactly we'll do means we'll create a jobs. We'll call them as a jobs. So job 1, job 2, job 3. So these are actually manually triggered in the this Informatica. So to automate this workflow jobs, uh, we will try to use a scheduler. So that's where our ControlM or we have maybe a Snowflake we have or a Tidal. So some of the tools. Okay, let me. Normally these are some of the schedulers. Let's take the ControlM or Tidal, or we have these active badge, or even we have this Snowflake also. Majorly like most companies like use this Autosys. So these are kind of workload automation tools. Like so, the work you are doing the manually, you are try to give those job details over in this schedulers, and you will pass some of the parameters, and you will say it has to be completed as this particular time and this. So for that, like I'll give you the background how exactly those will run. As part of it, we'll try to understand kind of jobs we have. So types of jobs, what are those? So how they can be handled? So what are the parameters or what are the commands we can give and all? We will see. Okay. Uh, okay. So normally, this ControlM is kind of scheduler where it can be used with the different environments. Like majorly, uh, uh, we have the environments like if you're working in the IT sector or with any projects, you will be having the environments like production or development and testing. So these are the environments. They will create some workspaces actually. So for this, even we'll be having the performance environment as well. So for this all environments, what they will do, for each and every environment, they will create a workspace in the control end. In that, they will hold these jobs, whatever I discussed, right? So they will create the job details over this in the control end, and they will give some parameters. So today, like we'll understand like what is exactly the control M, and just a second. and yeah, the control and architecture and the benefits, what are the benefits we have with this control and automation and all. So I'll show you the control and architecture. Okay. Before that, let me. Uh, so normally, I try to install this ControlM, but this ControlM is a licensing product, where we need to purchase and from the company called BMC. I tried it, but it not happened. But because though there is one simulator we have online. I'll share you that link with you as well. In this simulation, we can try to create the jobs and all. So, okay. Uh, Before that, let's discuss what is job scheduler. Okay. Let's imagine you have very different types of tasks which you are running on your computer or any specific location in the specific time. So maybe on the different condition. So in that way, this control M will act as one of the central hub. Please. So let's take you have a computer in that you have multiple tasks, or you can say just like this. Uh, Even maybe let's uh, like uh, let's take not the computer, or normally we this control M will has a central hub for scheduling this task and all. Ensure they correctly run in the designated times. So here I have task 1. So for the task 1, I am doing something, or I have some task 2. I'm doing something, or task 3. So we have like this. We have mini tasks. So where maybe let's take I have the condition whenever I'm uh, turning on computer, I need to run this task. So there is some condition I have. So for the task 3, before closing the computer, so if you observe, so in my computer, I'm running some of the tasks where maybe this particular task 3, I need to run in the 10 a.m. in the morning. For this, instead of applying manual efforts, I am create there is one central hub where I can give all these details like task 1, task 2, and task 3, and I can guide it how exactly these tasks are created, and uh, uh, I can trigger this one from the control itself. Like from the ControlM, I'll create some of the jobs over there. I'll schedule it accordingly, and I will run it from here. So here we can define the frequency. Normally, we'll call it as a frequency. Frequency is nothing but uh, what on how much the frequently we can trigger that particular job, whether it's a daily or it's a weekly, or we can it's a monthly or bi-weekly, maybe you can hourly basis as well. So on what how much frequent we want to trigger that particular job, we can do it. So by this scheduling tool, we can automate the uh, manual tasks, and for this automation, we can simply even we have the complex force and all involved in multiple applications and all. So maybe just now I told you, so like we are the getting the data maybe from the database, or maybe Excel, or these are some of the different applications. So from these different applications also, we can automate the this uh, task using this simple scheduling tool. So majorly, like if I tell you the benefits of this ControlM, like we can automate the repetitive task, like to save the time and the resource. For example, uh, I'm the one person who are working on the multiple projects or multiple tasks. So where even though I'm working on something, if this is a manual effort, I need to repeatedly go into the scheduler. I need to look into manually the task, and I need to trigger this in the Informatica to avoid that kind of if we move if we miss the time and all. So again, that will be a issue. So that's why we will use the schedulers. So for example, companies might have the deadlines, or um, so they will be following some deadlines uh, to minimize that risk of missing those deadlines or maybe some errors. This will be useful. And okay, and benefits over here, like increased efficiency, uh, reliability, we can, or reduced cost. Reduced cost means like let's take we have the manual employee, we have around 10 employees who is uh, working on a single project. So everyone, they're putting their maybe out of their regular work, they are giving around 2 hours in this manual efforts only. So instead of that, if we automate whatever we are working, we can save over these 2 hours from each employee, and we can contribute that time to work on other applications or other things. So that's how it will be used. Or instead of like for we have 10 employees. Uh, okay, that's fine. Some control we can do like so instead of for example, I only told where it is, I'm having this one. So instead of that, might be I'm having the one more as well, one more application. Let's take I'm getting the data from this Informatica as well. So for that, So I may be getting the data from Informatica. So that data has to be, there are few more tasks I need to handle. So likewise, like I have multiple applications where I need to handle multiple tasks. So for that, I can't get into each and every application and I can work it. So for that, what we'll do, we'll get all these informations from the multiple sources or from the multiple applications, where this works as a central repository. So where you can handle all the workflows and all. That's the one thing. So I told you, right, like I'll tell you the types of jobs. So majorly we have two types of job. One is batch processing, or we can say batch jobs. Or else we have the streaming processing or streaming job. So what are those exactly? I'll tell you. Batch processing is nothing but, uh, let's take, we have some data. Uh, I'm getting the data uh, daily around 10 a.m. So some group of bunch of data, instead of like let's take, I'm connecting to a database called MySQL. So out of that, there is some employees table, which is the, uh, out of that we have some 100 records we have. So I need to get this data to a target. For that, we'll do the job runs. So whenever we do these job runs, we will get this data into the target. So like let's take like I ran it for the run one, maybe today around 6 a.m. So I got around 100 records. There is one more run I did uh, again around 9 a.m. So it is considered as a run two. Meanwhile, like out of 100 records, I there were added 150 records. So 50 records were additionally added. So every time you do this batch processing, you will get the data in a group of data into our systems. Streaming data is nothing but uh, the live data. So whenever something the changes happens in your systems, it will instantly reflect in our targets. So it will be useful to reduce the time and reduce some errors and all. So this batch processing, there is advantage for this as well. So this batch processing, uh, it will minimize the load on the server. So like if you constantly keep on getting the data, so this again this streaming data or live data will do it on the mainframes or some of the huge servers, so it won't impact that much. So yeah, like for the small servers or small databases, so that might increase the load on the application, like we keep continuously running. That's why we will do the batch processing. Or like actually I've asked to forgot. uh you guys are like training, uh they are providing this training like as part of which one, like I need to know. So because apart from this, I need to plan like what are the other uh, other some of the others supporting one I need to give you the training. Can I know like for which role like you guys are training for?
Data engineer.
Okay, okay, fine. So for actually, uh, do you guys have the knowledge on this SQL part or ETL part, or like
For me, I'm very new to the IT,
okay,
so I don't have any experience, but I know a little bit about SQL.
okay. So I'll tell you uh, the basic like before jumping into the subject and all. So I'll tell you like for the data engineering position, we might use some one programming language we need. So maybe it's a Python or a Java, so or any different C sharp and all. Or we might need a query language. It might be mostly like we have the SQL. It is the only one of the language to connect with the databases and all. Or we need to understand some of the supporting. Maybe you need to know the Unix according to like your JD and all. So some of the projects might use the cloud, or maybe it's a GCP, or mostly like Azure, or it's a AWS. So majorly like what exactly we'll do as a data engineer means uh, we are the persons who build a multiple or different job pipelines uh, to get the data into our systems. So let's take mine, like I work in the marketing project, so where we have these customers from the different channels. So let's take like I have the customer from the maybe from different location or from the different. So they will get this information, and they will filter the information, and they will find out which customer he is helpful for the business, like whether he is a right customer for the product purchase or not. So according to that, from the different channels, they will do this marketing. So for that, at least we need the customer data, right? So for that, they build some data warehouse, and in that, not a data warehouse, they built this data lake. So this they built this data lake, and uh, so they need to get this information into data lake, and they will process this data to a different teams for the marketing purpose. As part of it, even you need to know this ETL concepts as well. So it's better like I'll have a conversation with Stuti. So let's see like whether I can teach you this ETL as well. So you'll have a minimum understanding out of it. Okay. So these are like interrelated. Uh, a scheduler tool is a part of it. Like maybe around it has some contribution for the 5% or something. Yeah. Uh, what are we have? We need to know the data kind of databases we need to work on, uh, and like mostly we'll be playing with the data, right? And we need to know the BI tools and all. So like in the market, you heard about the Power BI or Tableau. So like I'll talk with Suti, and even I'll try to give the session on the ETL as well. So you'll get some understanding where exactly we are fitting, or like what exactly we are doing in this data engineering role. So moreover, like uh, we say like these data engineers, uh, these are ETL is some of the like basic platform to them, like it's a basic route, so where everything starts. So I'll try to give the session on ETL. It's fine, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So like so as of now, like I'll continue with the ControlM. So today tomorrow we'll have a session how we can create one, and even I'll try to provide the CTL as well. So coming to this ControlM, normally, so it has the architecture. If you see, it is a three-tier architecture. So where we will having this enterprise management, and this ControlM server, and the ControlM agents. So I try to install in my laptop, but it's a thing. Even we need to install this server and this management tool as well, where we don't have the permissions, or we can't purchase it. So that's why, like, yeah, like, okay. So we'll discuss about this architecture. If you see the enterprise management, it is starting from where it will. If you see, DB stands for the database, GUS stands for the graphical user interface, and this is a gateway engine. So where, if I tell you, here only we will try to create the schedules or the job steps. So let's take in the ControlM, uh, we are discussing about this enterprise manager. So which we will call, uh, it acts as a client and all, where I can create a schedules. Schedules in the nothing but like, for example, let's take, I'm taking one job. I'll give all the information, like from let's take, there is one Unix. Uh, so let's take one Unix shell scripting. Out of this, okay. So I'm creating job one. So where, uh, okay. So there is one Unix shell scripting, which will, or we can say a Python script, where it will trigger some uh, workflow or some task. So where I want to do this automation and all. So what exactly I'll do? I'll take this script and I'll put it in this one job, uh, Python underscore job, and I will give some parameters, like how frequently I need to run, on which condition I need to run and all. So for that, I will provide some steps over in the ControlM. So by this enterprise manager, we can create schedules and we can define the steps. let's take we have multiple jobs: job 1, job 2, job 3. So these are the dependent jobs, means whenever the job 1 is completed, job 2 has to be triggered, means has to run, and job 2 is completed, job 3 has to be triggered, means these are the interrelated, where let's take once we will call them as a parallel job sequence, where for example for this job 1, once this is completed, these two jobs becomes the successors. There are in the control M, we have this terminology called the predecessor and successor. Uh, if I tell you that clearly, uh, the predecessor is nothing but the previous one, and the successor is nothing but the upcoming one. So let's take 1, 2, 3. So 1 after 1 we are getting 2, means uh, the successor is nothing but it's the number or something, it comes after it, means for the 1 the 2 becomes the successor, for the 2 3 become the successor, means successor is nothing but the number or something comes after it, and the predecessor is nothing but the number uh, comes before it, before a number, means for the 2, or for example take 3, for the 3 2 becomes the predecessor, for the 2 1 become the predecessor, means for the 2 uh, we have the before number is 1. So like that, this is running in the parallel job sequence, where we have the job 1, for the job 1 job 2 is the successor, means once the job 2 is completed successfully, so I'll run it in the control M. It has to continue with the running this job 2. After this, it's come to the job 3. So likewise, these are called the dependencies. Actually, we will set the dependency between the jobs. So actually, dependency is nothing but we are depending on something to complete the entire flow. For example, to complete the entire flow from 1 to 5, I need to start counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So likewise, let's take in the control and jobs. I need to complete some entire flow. I need some group of jobs. It has to be completed. So I will give the control and the instruction saying, uh, let's take, we have the Python job. After that, maybe we are running the one more job, which is a Unix job. So some group of jobs has to be completed. I will say what comes the before and what comes the after, so that uh, it can complete these jobs in a sequence way, or we can do it in the same in the uh, has to be sequence. This has to be parallel. Means I'm giving the details of jobs in the So there is no dependency. I can run this job, and this job at a time. I can trigger it at the same time. They can complete at the same time. So coming to the sequence job, this one has to be completed, and after that only we need to run this job. So for the job one, job two will be the predecessor. For the job two, job three is the predecessor. Okay. So why exactly we follow this sequence method means, for example, let's take for the job one, it has to complete the entire flow, and it has to do some task over there. Maybe we are getting some data. So this data will be passed to job 2, right? Without this data, even though I run this data, it won't perform any operation or nothing. So that's why it is important to run the job 1, then only the job 2. You're able to follow, right? Or like anyone have any questions? Okay. Uh, and we can assign the parameters. So like as I told you, for these jobs, I need to provide some parameters and all. Like maybe let's take uh, this job alone can't run individually. So for that, I need to insert some parameter, like which one has to be ran and all. So I need to provide some parameters, some variables in the job. So that we can do in this enterprise manager, and even we can do the monitoring and all. We can see the logs, or we can manage the user permissions. Like for example, we have a few users here, user one. So should we give the read and write permission, or only the write permission? So that one I can do it. And another one is we can monitor the job. So in this enterprise manager, like basically we can create our jobs, and we can define the steps. We can have the dependency jobs over there, or we can have the variables, or we can create this monitor. We can do the monitoring. So whenever you're running those, we can see the execution status over there, and logs as well. Logs in nothing but a step by step the process is completed. uh, Once everything is completed, uh, we can see where exactly if it is failing, where exactly it is failing, why, what is the reason. So likewise, like I can see the monitoring execution, like it's in the color coding. I will tell you this correct color coding. So this enterprise manager is nothing but where you will try to run uh, uh, all the jobs over here. Coming to this server, so majorly this is a server where all the jobs will be stored. Mostly this will be in the Unix environment. So this is a stream structure, but this server we can't access. It only accessed by the admin team. So they will maintain this server. So where uh, the job scheduling exactly, this is a kind of a central engine where the job scheduling will happen. like based on the job definition and all, it will triggers. uh, let's take one scenario. I'll like give you the example. uh, for example, I got one file dot txt. So for the job one, there is one condition: whenever I receive any file. So whenever I receive any file, I need to trigger this job. So what exactly it will do? This search engine, like this ControlM server, it will check for some of the conditions. As part of it, for this job one, whenever we receive any file, or uh, let's take any other dependency job is completed. So according to that, it will trigger the jobs. For example, for job one, it is in the ideal state. It is not running. So my condition is whenever there is one file arrival, let's take with the name 123, or maybe let's take uh, they have some uh, file naming convention as well. Let's take on today's dated, I received one file, WhatsApp data. So it will check whether the file we received today, and it will trigger the job. Means it will run the job, it will fetch the data, whatever it has to do, it will do it. Like maybe loading into another database and all, this job will do. So likewise, this search server will be useful for the job execution purpose, uh, a- and for the job monitoring as well. Like uh, job running status, or else track logs it will do, or the reports, and uh, whether it will give the status saying uh, it is a success or failure. You guys able to follow, right? Like okay. So there is one more module, like this is a three-tier architecture. So the server where all the job repository, it will be stored, from where we can fetch. For example, uh, let's take the user one, a user two, and we have the user three. So out of it, like it was installed in the different environments. So this will be uh, helpful for the triggering purpose. For example, actually it acts as a client where it is a, for example, I'm the person who is working on this client control M. I'm as one of the agent. So you are working in this with this control M. You are the one of the agent. So this agent is nothing but a individual software program which is stored in the which is stored in each individual machine. Either it may be a laptop or a desktop, whatever it may be. So out of that, we can where we can interact with the server and the with the target environment, and we can trigger or we can do the manipulation of the job. So it will be helpful like that. So we are the agents who we can see the front view in the user interface. Okay, where I can see all the jobs, I can trigger them and I can run them. So yeah, so what exactly I can do with these agents? I can run
I can install these agents in any different operating system. I can submit means once you create a job, you need to submit into a ControlM. So means it's kind of a save option we have. So I can save that, and I can monitor the job whether it is running or failing, or it's in the ideal state. Or we have some okay, we have some colors and job status. I'll give you the information later. So that's the one thing, or managing job, or we'll receive the order from the server, or we can send the results to the server. So this is kind of a front interface we'll be having, the user interface, uh, where we can see the jobs, and we can trigger it. Where this enterprise management is nothing but uh, it's a main point of control. Everything will be run. So maybe from the different cross platforms, for example, you are working in different environments or with the different applications. Out of that, getting the dependencies and all, this um, this one will take care, and it will give some of the graphical interface information uh, out of the particular job. Okay, I'll show you. See whether I can. Just a second. So this is actually not a actual interface. Actually, it's looks like this. Yeah. So if whenever you will try to log in into a ControlM, so initially it will ask for the username and the password and the environment. Like actually, this information will be provided by your project. So they will give all this information. So this is icon where if you click on it, it will open some pop-up window. Once you give the details, uh, so this is some of the interface how it looks like. So if you see here, this is a this was uh, a BMC company software where you have some different modules over here, like just like the planning, a monitoring, a history, forecast, and tool. Uh, so out of it, you can create your own workspaces. In that workspaces, you will be having the folders, and in that folders, you can have the jobs. This is how it looks like. So, so you have the workspaces. You can have the multiple folders with you. Like in that workspace, for example, let's the workspace will be dev space, means development space. So where, for example, I'm creating for the HR team one folder, for the finance team one folder, or for IT team I'm creating one folder. So all this I can create, and So I can create multiple folders in it. Out of this multiple folders, I can create a multiple jobs. For example, let's take in the HR, I can have HR job 1, HR underscore job 2. So, so likewise, I can store the information. So here I can create the workspaces. Out of that workspaces, I can create the folders. In that folders, I can have it. So it will be useful for the organizing and managing the jobs. So that's the one thing. Uh, and yeah. So coming to the job definition is nothing but a blueprint that outlines a specific job. So, if I say, uh, what is the job definition means, what is that job will do, and where it has to be stored, who is the running, and when it has to be run, and flow control means with how many jobs or what it is, and resources means the parameters we are passing, what are the resources I need requirement, and the result. So means uh, what exactly this job has to do and where it has to run. For example, let's take scenario where in the definition, uh, what means this job has to run Python script. Okay, where it has to running development environment, and who means actually uh, there are some different users. For example, user 1, or we have the service accounts. Actually, we'll have this service accounts in the real-time projects. Maybe in our project we are using SV uh, BP Pine, we are using uh, underscore TST. Okay. So who is running this from this account it is running, or when? So daily 6 a.m. IST. So if you're working in any project, so in our project, we are working from maybe US and from here. So you need to be uh, uh, in detail. You need to give the information, like whether it's a UST or you're working in IST or CST. So how it is, and flow control, whether you are having any conditions or any dependencies, you can mention it over there. So the job definition is nothing but we need to pass all this information over there. So as I told you, how we schedule, we can provide the Unix shell scripts or NT batch files. You came across any .bat or .cmd files, right? So those are something, but some of the so let's take .bat file. It is the batch file we call. So what is this exactly? The batch file means whenever you see this batch file, let's take uh, open command prompt and type cd command, enter. So like this, it will detailing give some task over in this batch file, and we will save this with this .bat extension. Whenever you are clicking this .bat file directly, it will automatically perform these tasks in your local system or wherever you are storing. So likewise, it will be useful. So we will provide this .bat files and we will execute and we'll see the operating commands. So I'll so in tomorrow, like I'll show you like how we can create jobs and how we can pass the parameters. Uh, yeah. So generally, if I open this folder workspace, any workspace and all, I can see empty workspace. There is nothing. So in on top of it, we have some options. So if you see here, we have multiple options. So if you see uh, whether you are creating any job with any operating system or any dummy file or any file transfer you're doing or batch processing, that's we can do it. Or else, for example, whenever you're working in this ControlM, right? Before working, you need to do checking for any modifications or editing purpose. So you will check in and you will save the data and you will validate it whether it's instead of running, just if you click on validate, it will validate whether that job is okay or not. It will check. So likewise, we have many options. Uh, so there is one more thing I need to share, that is variable. Variables is nothing but the unique values will provide to a specific job. So maybe the date or the file name. What are the values we are providing? Those comes under the variable. For example, here you are providing job name 0 and table name or application everything. These are comes under the variable names. So we'll call them as a variables. Out of it, this is not the proper one. Yeah. So here, if you see, I created one folder. In that folder, I created one job with os underscore job #1. Means I created one job out of this workspace. I created in the folder in this job. So what are this? So we need to, what is the job type? I can define it over here. Uh, like the job name, what exactly this job do, or whether what kind of, for example, let's say I am passing one Unix shell scripting. Generally, it will be .sh file. So I'm passing the path where exactly it is. For example, it's stored in the root slash mkt slash pine slash script dot sh. So I need to pass this path here and I need to pass the file name, and run as means nothing but this is nothing but the with what name it has to run and what is the server name. For example, you are working in this like a uh, server name slash path. Those will be actually given by the one of the person in your team. So he will give the information like a uh, which server I need to give the information and all. So uh, that's the one thing. Oh, these are the actually global variables. Means for some of the group of jobs, we'll be using all these same. So this is the one thing. For example, for these are kind of reusable things. So these are for example, let's take server where we have line svc underscore. So actually, they will have some terminology with different of according to the project. They will give these names. So they will mention one server name. I can use this server name across multiple jobs. So this is a reusable thing. So application also actually given by the team member only. Like in your team, actually they will say, share one document. Out of the document, they will give the details. What is the job name should be, and what is the path and file name, and what is the run as, and they will give all this information. We'll call them as a uh, TSD or BSD. It is nothing but technical specification document or the business requirement document. Okay. You heard about this BRD. So BRD is nothing but the business requirement document where they provide what is the requirement, what exactly the data has to be. For example, in my case, they shared the application name as a let's say fine underscore batch processing. So this is a general one we'll use across all the jobs for our jobs. So even they will share the sub application and all. So these are some mandate one. So that's why it is highlighted in the red. So as I told you, right, like in this dependency, uh, so it was explaining what exactly or where, in which server it has to run, or like a, server in the sense like the servers or the environments both are same only. Means is it a production or UAT, the testing environment, or who can execute it, like the user login. Like for example, if you are working in your company, so we might have the multiple projects. With this multiple projects also, we'll be having the separate users. So for that, for which user I'm trying to confirm it, I need to give the information. And when means on which particular date and all, or any particular holiday or nth day. Means let's take uh, I'm running it today. It's in the on 9th of July 2024. From this date, I will give I need to run 10th from the run date. So likewise, we can give it or nth last work day or time window. So we can uh, modify according to our requirement. So This is a old interface actually for the ControlM. I will show you the latest interface. Uh, Actually, like, okay, okay, still not yet. Actually, I'm trying to prepare this PPT. So because I don't have access for the ControlM, right? So it's not yet. The, so actually, we have different windows where, for example, let's say if you see, just now I told you. So if they provided some path. This is from the local server or local machine. So he provided one path. In this path, this file has to be placed. Means it file has to be available. Then only we can complete the uh, this process. So if I'm trying to create for the OS, means for operating system, in this operating system, this file has to be available in this path. Then only this job will be completed successfully. So likewise, like if you see, we can select on which day it has to run on particular date, or in which month it has to run in the calendar month. So we can do in the scheduling window. We have some scheduling window in ControlM where you can give all this information, and you can submit it. See the calendar days. These are the calendar days. For every month calendar, I need to run on the first day. So I can define like this, and you can ignore. For example, you don't want to run this on the bank holidays. So you can create according to that. You can mark those days as a holidays, and you can skip those jobs over there. Till here, you guys able to understand, right? Or any doubts or questions you have? Okay. So, okay. Okay. Uh, so today's session, no need to worry. Like it went on some up and downs, like kind of like and this is a kind of introduction, right? So today, like I'll try to prepare like so as I told you, for data engineering, what exactly we can be done and all, and for this control I'm also I'll try to see uh, whether I can create any jobs and all, and I will show you how it can be triggered from here. Like this is not an actual one where we can uh, run the jobs, but yeah, like it's a similar only. So before that, I'll try to give the uh, overview of this control M and the ETL. so that you will be having some clear understanding on this part. Till here, I like once all the sessions are completed, like I'll try to collate this documents and this recording also, and I'll place it in one drive and I'll share with you. Meanwhile, you can do something. You can have a homework, you can go back and check for the uh, this types of processing, batch processing and stream processing. You can check that once. Okay, we'll connect tomorrow. On that ETL part, I'll take a confirmation and I'll give you briefing on that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you. We'll
Thank you.
connect tomorrow at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
You can stop the recording, Mani. Yeah.
Yeah.